Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. It's Monday, April 12th. I hope you had a great weekend and your week is off to a good start. Important update today on a couple big areas, namely PPP funding. Funding is running out. I want to give a quick recap of progress there. And of course, EIDL grants and loans. And finally, I will mention some of the new grants we have on the Skip app for you to take a look at. As always, thank you so much for subscribing and supporting our channel and liking this video so more people see it. It means so much to us. I was just looking at this video from a year ago, April 8th last year, when I was talking about the $10,000 EIDL grants. Just to put things in perspective, you know, so many of these things we've been watching diligently for over a year. I've been watching them every single day. We're still talking about the $10,000 grants a year later. Of course, there are differences now with the targeted. We have new data on the targeted EIDL grants. I will share that in a minute, and a lot of your comments. Many of you have heard back from the SBA. I will share that as well. I just wanted to point out that video to say, hey, no matter what changes with the SBA with grants, we've got you covered. We're here to provide as much support as possible. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, and consider sharing with friends and family members. The more the merrier. Let me first start with the PPP loan report. This is approvals through yesterday, so this is the latest data. This was just published this morning on the SBA's website. The story is generally the same. Progress is being made. Over 4.4 million loans have been approved this year alone for a net dollar amount of $232 billion from over 5,200 lenders. Okay, but there are two things I want to mention. First, as I said last week, and I've alluded to many times, many of you are still stuck in this back and forth phase with your PPP lenders. I know it's frustrating. Many of you applied weeks ago and you're still in this back and forth. And many of you have also reported that you keep emailing your lenders and you're getting the runaround. From time to time, we do hear of snafus with the SBA. There are certain flags that are preventing applications. Then they have to be manually reviewed. I have heard that they are continuing to make improvements on how quickly they can approve applications. Same thing with the lenders. I just want to point that out there, especially because we have 2 more months of PPP applications. We have until the end of May if you want to apply. Our 2 partner lenders are in the description, Blue Vine and Funding Circle, and I've heard from both of them that they are speeding things up. The second point is that we are getting close to the PPP Round 2 funding cap. As you may recall, in the December 27th bill, $284 billion was allocated to the new PPP round. As we can see here, $232 billion has been distributed. So that's 82% of what's been approved that's been approved or distributed. Keep that in mind, 82%. We're still talking about $50 billion that's available, and you can assume that the larger small businesses have already gotten their money. So it's really the long tail of self-employed folks, independent contractors that may still be considering or may still be waiting in the PPP queue. $50 billion, that's also more than the targeted EIDL grant funding as well, just to put things in perspective. I just want to point that out because while $284 billion is a lot of money, it's not infinite. So if you are still on the fence about PPP, just keep that in mind. Let me jump right to the targeted EIDL grant data. First, I want to say one thing about the EIDL loans. Okay, we've had lots of questions. Our poll last week showed that many of you emailed the SBA right away that you were interested in the EIDL loan increase that would give you 24 months of working capital instead of 6 months of working capital. So in theory, 4xing what you received the first time. So if you got $20,000 for your first EIDL loan, 4x that, you should be eligible in theory for $80,000. Okay, we don't know the exact criteria and what they're going to ask for. I expect we will learn more in the next couple days. If you emailed early on, you would have not gotten an auto response from the SBA. However, the SBA did turn on an auto response, so you get an acknowledgement. Don't worry about resending the email if you didn't get the auto response. Just make sure that it went through to the correct email address. It is in their inbox. You're in the queue. Many of you are wondering about that because it's kind of janky the way the system is set up. You got to email to ask for an increase. This should have been done on the portal, frankly. All the SBA had to do was on the portal have an option that says, are you interested in increasing your EIDL loan amount? Press the button and the SBA is notified that you are interested. That would have taken no time at all to set that up. They didn't do that. They opted for the email route. I've been critical of that. Well, at least Guzman got it out quickly. So let's hope that more of you start hearing back this week about the increases. If you've heard about the increases, I would love to hear in the comments. Okay, targeted EIDL grants. Here is the poll we did this morning, has almost 2,000 votes. And I've been monitoring this since we posted it 6 hours ago. the numbers are relatively steady. So we have a high degree of confidence this is where people stand. So whether you've been invited or not, here are the numbers. 14% of you have been approved or funded. 8% have been denied. That's higher than I thought, actually. 54% of you have gotten the invite, but you have not been approved, funded, or denied. And 24% of you haven't even been invited. Okay. Now, we have a lot of comments from you about this. Many of you saying you've been approved this morning, you were approved over the weekend, you were approved on Friday. Thanks so much for everyone sharing your comments. The comments range, though, from folks who think they're in a low-income area, but they haven't gotten the application yet, to talking with the SBA, but not getting any help when talking to the SBA. Chances are someone is having the exact same situation you are in. Feel free to scan the comments on this survey or comment in this video as well. The main point is that you're not alone and lots of people are still waiting. We even went further to look at the numbers. Okay, here's a recap of the poll I just showed you. 14% approved, 8% denied, 54% invited, 24% not invited. Now, we took out the not invited portion to see of everyone who's been invited, what do those numbers look like? They look a bit different. Here it is for everyone invited. Almost 20% of people have been approved or funded. This is close to my prediction yesterday, I guessed 20%. However, I was off on this percentage here. I guessed 5% maybe were denied. The numbers are showing 11% of people have been denied, and 71% of the folks invited are still waiting. So important to keep that in mind. Again, I expect more and more progress this week. And for those of you denied, I'd love to get more insight there on the letters. If you have a letter about the denial, feel free to send it to hello@helloskip.com. I can analyze it a bit more. We've seen a few samples, but I'd love to see more. So I can look into this a bit more and the next video comment on why people are getting denied. All right, let me talk about the latest grant opportunities. This is on our app. The app is free. However, we also curate extra grant opportunities. You can start a free 15-day trial to see those. The link is right in the description or at the end of this video. There's a lot we're covering here. We've kind of tripled what we've been putting out here, and now you can save posts that are interested if you want to go back to them. Anyway, today I'm just going to scan the 15 million grants for businesses in New Jersey, 5,000 grants for women and minority-owned businesses, 20,000 grants for businesses in Illinois, and funding of up to 35,000 for businesses in New York. Those are just a handful from today. There's also the running list of all the grants and funding opportunities that are here as well on the Premium Grant Tracker. Finally, many of you have been asking for certain polls, certain surveys that we can run and get a great sample size within a couple hours. So if you have a survey in mind or question in mind that you would like us to consider polling, please leave in the comments. We can put it in the queue. I think so much of this is understanding not only progress, what the SBA is saying. We are reaching out to our SBA contact later today for more follow-up questions, but also understanding what the realities of folks watching this video, subscribers of our channel, what is actually happening on the ground, who's being approved, who's still waiting. Anyway, leave those in the comments. As always, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope your week's off to a great start. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.